This time we'll use the SCAN framework on complexity to look at a slightly different issue about checklists, about why there are 4 fundamentally different types of checklists that we need to have for any kind of work. Now, all checklists happen or are used below the line. When we're in the action and we have no time to think. We can't stop to do the action, to do the thinking about something. That's what we need checklists for, is guidance in the midst of action. Now, at the simplest possible level, we have good old work instructions. These are supposed to be dealing with the world of certainty. These are step by step. And as long as things stay the same, they should always work the same way. So these are coming from the world of certainty, the planning. The plan gives us that. But the plan also needs to give us other types of checklist. Now, the crucial point here is that there's another concern that we have. That's the boundary of effective certainty. On this side, we expect things to stay the same or same enough. We've got business rules enough to cover it. On this side, we need to do different things to get the same results, or doing the same thing may give us different results, or the world's just changed on us anyway. So as we get closer to anything that gives us uncertainty, or we want to reduce risk, that's where we need what's known as a checklist. For example, pre-takeoff. The pre-takeoff checklist, our whole point is we go through a list of things that may not necessarily be step by step, but we do need to do them to reduce the risk of something happening in mid-flight. We want to make sure we've got enough fuel. We want to make sure we've got pressure in the tyres. We want to make sure that the ailerons and other controls move freely. Those are part of our pre-takeoff checklist. Pre-landing checklist, the same again. We've got time to do it. It's sort of coming in from, we've still got some time to spare. On the other side, we need another kind of checklist, which is the emergency checklist, which is the help we need when things have already gone wrong. We're no longer at risk, we are in the middle of something having gone wrong. Now, these kinds of checklists are quite different. For example, for an aircraft, the engine out checklist might well have an instruction, fly the airplane, because one of the things that people forget in a panic, this being the edge of panic, one of the things that people forget is that if the aircraft goes below a certain speed, it ceases to be an aircraft and becomes a brick. So we have to keep aware of the total, and that's what that type of checklist is for. And finally, there's a quite different kind of checklist when we literally have no idea what's going on. That's the checklist that we would use in complete panic, where we have no idea. And that's where principles and values come in. Because as we flail around for anything, and anything and nothing might be true, principles and values give us some kind of anchor with which we can work. So the planning for these comes from the ambiguous world, knowing what goes wrong, and these are about deep uncertainty and help us when we don't know what's going on. They give us some kind of anchor. So there's 4 fundamentally different types of checklist. The work instruction, the ordinary pre-takeoff checklist, pre-action checklist to reduce risk. There's the emergency checklist when we're in a sort of known situation, and principles and values when we have no idea what's going on at all. So SCAN helps us map out on this axis what kind of checklists we need, and we need all of them, or we may need all of them for any kind of action. So if we don't have principles and values, we will not be able to sort out what's happening with deep uncertainty. If we don't have emergency checklists, we may not be able to recover from an emergency. So we need these as a set for any kind of action. And that's where SCAN can help us map these issues out. Thanks for watching. Do look at the YouTube description for links to further detail. And don't forget to subscribe for other videos, and also to support us on Patreon to help us produce these videos and the tools themselves.